Welcome to ShortCuts, where we take a deeper look into the stories we care about and why we care about them. Pixar's The Incredibles may be the best animated action film of all time. Here are some of the scenes that make it truly great.
Excuse me. Claims, Bob Parr.
Have a great trip.
Thanks, sweetie. I'll call you when I get there.
At times, director Brad Bird joked he was making a Bergman film on a Pixar budget. With computer animation, so-called boring scenes are neither cheaper nor easier than action set pieces. So why do them? Because they fit into a thematic design that elevates the movie beyond blockbuster status to classic. In the world of The Incredibles, the mundane and the fantastic exist side by side. Brad Bird's big idea for The Incredibles was that perhaps the hardest part of being a superhero isn't the fantastic superhero stuff. Instead, it's the everyday normal stuff.
Great.
It's easiest to see this big idea in the contrast between Bob and Helen, Mr. and Mrs. Incredible. They both start out doing heroes work, but then the story skips ahead 15 years to an era when no one is allowed to be super anymore. Bob's doing an office job, and Helen stays home with the kids. Helen seems content, Bob does not. A gap has opened up for Bob, a gap between the life he has and the life he wants. What does he want? He wants his old job back. He was good at it. It gave him purpose. Now Bob spends his days dealing with mundane crap, and it's killing his soul. For Bob, the mundane is the enemy of the fantastic.
Not a graduation. He is moving from the 4th grade to the 5th grade. They keep creating new ways to celebrate mediocrity.
He takes pride in resisting the mundane and seeking to escape it.
Yeah, baby!
But the more he tries to preserve his former life, the more pressure he gets from Helen in the opposite direction. Helen has lost the same thing as Bob, but she's not having an identity crisis. She finds purpose right in front of her, and normal life seems like enough. If she's missing anything, it's her husband's attention.
Yeah.
There's a rift between them, and it's easy to imagine Bob thinking Helen's been body snatched by the mundane masses. At the end of Act 1, Bob's stubborn hopes appear vindicated, with an out-of-the-blue opportunity to do super work again. We're excited for him. It feels good. After a short worry about his fitness, it's a thrill to see him in action. He even seems to become a better husband and father as a result. But there is this ominous foreboding. It seems too good to be true. What if it's not real?
Mr. Incredible! Whoa!
Reality comes crashing in on Bob. He's been lured into a trap. His wife has figured out the truth, and Bob witnesses his whole family getting blown out of the sky. This is the low point. Bob has sacrificed his family for the chance to feel incredible again, and it was a big mistake. Why did this happen? One word: vanity. Classically speaking, vanity is about loving an illusion. Self-aggrandizing is just a special case of loving an illusion. It's loving a false vision of yourself. One of the symbols of vanity in the film is the cape. Bob wants one, but he's denied by wise Edna. It gets attention, but it creates an unnecessary vulnerability. In fact, Syndrome's cape is his immediate cause of death. Bob's vulnerable to Syndrome's trap because Bob has a need to be incredible. Even when there's no demand for his gift, Bob can't imagine being happy without exercising it. Though he expressly wanted the simple life,
I just like the
Bob
simple
can't
life.
be happy so long as this unmet need zaps all the joy and gratitude he could have for the simple life. Thankfully for Bob, he has a wife who has a different relationship to the mundane. The mundane and fantastic are not in competition for Helen. In fact, they're closely related. Attending to the mundane is how one doesn't miss out on something truly fantastic. Raising young kids is a long, monotonous, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Embrace the mundane, and you embrace the fantastic at the same time. This attitude has a name: humility. It's the antidote to vanity and the reason Helen finds peace and joy in the simple life. Bob fails to see that rational restraint on ambition actually requires great strength. It looks powerful to move a great weight quickly, but the real strength is in moving a great weight slowly. And it's vain to act fantastic when it's not called for. Sometimes restraining a superpower is exactly what's called for. Being fantastic at the right time is a glorious thing.
I love you.
When they're captured, Bob admits his flaw.
I'm sorry. This is my fault. I've been a lousy father. Blind to what I have. So obsessed with being undervalued that I undervalued all of you.
Dad? Shh, don't interrupt.
A few scenes later, Bob wants to break off from the family again, and Helen's justifiably worried that after all that, Bob still will choose hero work over family.
I can't lose you again!
I can't. Not again. I'm not strong enough.
But Bob's words reveal his love for family is greater than his love for hero's work. He just thinks protecting his family means going it alone. But Helen recognizes it will take all their powers working together to bring down this threat. The final sequence seals Bob's change of heart. Here he is wholeheartedly cheering Dash for doing the mediocre thing and finishing second. Bob recognizes the superior strength in restraining ambition and reaps the joy of staying in sync with reality. And this begins his new golden years as the attentive father of a superhero family. The Incredibles is about Bob growing from a vain, emotionally absent father into a humble, engaged father. Trailers for Incredibles 2 indicate Bob going whole hog on this father thing. Will his new role be another step on the ladder of humility, or will it just be humiliating? I'll be there on opening day to find out. Thanks for watching this episode of ShortCuts. And indeed, thank you for watching this episode. It was really hard to get this script written because it was so close to home, but I hope you enjoyed it. Please visit us at the Story Locker for some more ideas about interpreting movies.